Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, a roundup and results of the Super League final round. So our first game of the Super League roundup is the Castleford Tigers versus Warrington Wolves at the Menderhose Jungle. This was an elimination game for Castleford, and if they didn't win, they would be out of any sort of possibility of getting into the playoffs for this season, leaving Leeds and Hull KR to fight it out for the last. To see who faces Wigan and who faces Warrington in the playoffs when they start next week. So just to summarise it, Daryl Powell's 8-year spell as Castleford coach was brought to an end by the team he would be coaching in 2022, as the Tigers were beaten 40 points to 24 at home to Warrington in the last round of the regular season. 2 tries apiece from centre Jake Malmo and Matty Ashton put the Wolves into a seemingly unassailable 26 points to nil lead before half time. Ashton went on to complete his hat-trick 3 minutes into the second half in this one-way traffic so far game, before Castleford staged a dramatic revival with 2 tries by centre Peter Matautia in his last match before he joins the Wolves. Warrington paid a heavy price for their indiscipline, with winger Josh Charnley simbing for a dangerous tackle and Mike Cooper sent off for a short use of his shoulder, but they regrouped to complete the win just in time. Castleford's defeat, as I mentioned, guarantees Leeds and Hull KR spots in the playoffs. It was not quite all over for Castleford, because as the 7th place team, they will go on as standby and continue with with COVID protocols, just in case one of the teams aren't able to compete. But that will be a little consolation to Daryl Powell, who was hoping to end his tenure on a high. There was also no fairy tale finish for Michael Shenton, who this week announced his retirement, we covered that, and whose career was brought to an end 3 minutes before half time as he went off with a dislocated shoulder. It was just one of those days for Castleford, unfortunately, and they were deserving of getting the points on the board, but weren't the best team on the night. And even though Matautia scored twice and Greg Millington scored a try on his final performance, Coach Jordan Turner going over, it wasn't the fairy tale to be, as at the end of the game, Rach for Warrington finished off the game, scoring on the 78th minute to complete the scoring at 40 points to 23. So we head into the next game on Friday the 17th of September, no particular order, as we look at Wigan's game against Catalan Dragons, and Wigan head into next week's playoff full of confidence thanks to a hard-earned and well-deserved 12 points to 8 victory over Betfred Super League winners as well, Catalan Dragons. The Warriors were the better team in the ferocious first 40 minutes and led by 6 points at the break thanks to a try from captain Willie Isa, and following a sublime kick from Jackson Hastings. It took only 52 minutes for the Dragons to breach Wigan's line, with Tom Davis scoring in the corner. Those were the first points the Warriors had conceded in more than 180 minutes of action. It looked like the Dragons would go on to score more points, but it was Wigan who extended their lead with a fine try out of nothing for youngster James McDonald, his first for the club. A scrappy try from Matthew Laguerre set up a tense finish, but the Warriors hung on to become only the fourth side to beat Stephen McNamara's men this season. The Warriors, who made 6 changes to the team that beat Hull, created a couple of chances in the first half, with Kai Pearce-Paul dropping the ball close to the try line, while Jake Bibby was thwarted with a fine Sam Tompkins tackle. Catalans had their own chances, but Wigan's defensive line was on point as they prevented Gil Dudson, James Maloney and Davis crossing the whitewash. Dragons, though, were dealt a huge injury blow with 20 minutes when Sam Tompkins, their best player on the night, limped out of the action and was replaced by Arthur Morgs. Wigan were finding a little bit of success down the right hand side with Hastings and Pearce-Paul, but the final ball continued to let them down. And it was the score opening on the 27th minute by Hastings, whose grubber caused a host of problems for Catalan, and Isa touchdown. Zach Hardaker converted to make it a deserved 6-0 lead. Wigan pride themselves on their defence, and they were on top in the first half, with Sam Cassiano twice halted. The first points of the second half were going to be crucial, and Catalan started the strongest, with Cassiano again causing trouble with his barnstorming runs. Mike McMeekin made a break down the right hand side, and he drew in the Wigan's defence to send Davis in the corner. Maloney was off target with the conversion attempt as they trailed 6 points to 4. Wigan lost Brad O'Neill to a head assessment in the 58th minute, and with the incident going on report. However, they did not upset their rhythm at all as they extended their lead with a superb try from McDonnell. There did not look much on when the youngster got the ball 30 yards out, but he used his speed strength to get over the line. With Hardaker's conversion, they led by 8 points with 17 minutes remaining. The Dragons set up a tense finish as Laguerre touched down after Pearce-Paul was unable to ground the loose ball, and Maloney hit the post with his attempt, and the gap was down to 4 points, and Catalan were on the front foot, but a big hit on Josh Drinkwater saw him drop the ball. Dragons disagreed with the decision, and Sam Cassiano was simbing for dissent. Wigan thought they had made the point safe when all Hardaker had to do was collect the ball and touch down, but he dropped it instead. However, it did not end up costing them, as they won 12 points. 8. At this point, I just want to say, Wakefield, give poaching the job. Wakefield finished their Super League season on a high after thrashing Hull FC 44 points to 12, as Trinity ran in 6 tries in a devastating first half to hand the struggling Earlybirds their 10th win in their past 11 games. Wakefield interim coach Willie Poaching furthered his claim to be given the job on a permanent basis after the scintillating victory at the Mobile Rocket Stadium. Halfback Mason Lino set up several tries and kicked 5 from 6 goals. Riesling started in the centres for Wakefield on his 200th Super League appearance. It took Trinity just 3 minutes to take the lead when Innes Senior dived over in the corner. Lino added the extras. 5 minutes later, Liam Kay had a let-off when he failed to field a bouncing kick and almost let the Earlybirds to score. But it mattered not as Trinity marched up downfield with ease. In the 14th minute, they increased their lead with Mitieli Bililiki Japani spilling a ball, and James Batchelor picked up the scraps to touchdown, and Mason Lino added the extras on this one as well. Wakefield were cruising, and the visitors continue to make errors. Trinity were in dominant mood, and soon after had their 3rd try of the evening when Kelepi Tanganoa crossed off a Lino's grubber, and the high and the halfback's kick was perfect to increase the lead to 18 points to nil. In the 24th minute, Hull lost Jamie Shaw when the fullback left the field for a concussion test. The carnage kept coming though, with Jacob Miller barging over to inflict more damage. With Mason Lino missing this kick, the score remained at 22-0. It went from bad to worse 3 minutes later when David Fafita picked up a loose ball to grab a simple try. And Lino nailed his 4th conversion of the night to extend the lead to 28 points. Almost from the kick-off, Wakefield were in again. This time, Ryan Hampshire's break through the left edge to score after some great play through the team, keeping the ball alive and probing for angles and points. And yeah, Rocky Hampshire got in quite easily, to be fair. Lino's converted this try again, and their half-time score was 34 points to nil. And Hull left into the half-time interval humbled and embarrassed. In the second half, they attempted to restore some pride, but Barreto Farimo almost dived over on the left wing. The early birds managed to stem the bleeding and kept Wakefield from scoring their 7th try. In the 60th minute, the visitors finally got on the scoreboard when Veluliki Japani crashed over and Jake Connor nailed the conversion. Lino was then sent to the sin bin, and soon after, the visitors were in again when Connor won the race to ground the ball from his own kick. Connor scored the resulting conversion, and it was 34-12. It was a better second half for Hull, but not enough for them to avoid defeat, and a disappointing end to their season. The demolition was finished in the final minutes when Tanganoa secured a brace and Liam Kay touched down for a try himself. And that's the final score of 44-12. The thing about this game, if you're looking at it from an outside point of view, you'd think this result was an outside chance of happening, but I'll explain why it wasn't too much of a surprise. Super League's top try scorer Ken Seo added 2 more to his tally as Salford produced a stunning second half comeback to sink a youthful St Helens 26 points to 14 at the AJ Bell Stadium. The Australian winger scored a try in each half to give him 19 for the season, although his second was served up on a platter for him by teammate Chris Atkins, passing to him when he was already over the try line. Salford trailed 14 points to 4 before half-time, but they rallied superbly, scoring a crucial try just before the break, then blitzing the Super League champions with 3 tries in 12 minutes after the restart for a 26-14 lead. Retiring Salford halfback Kevin Brown was not fit to play, but he was afforded a guard of honour from both sets of players and presented with a framed shirt just before kick-off. He pulled his calf in the game before. It was on his Instagram page. Very unhappy not to be involved in the game some way. St Helens took the opportunity to give some of their senior players a break with the end of season playoffs around the corner. Shane Martin, John Bennison and Sam Royal all made their debuts, and 12 of the 17 Saints players were produced through the club's famed academy system. 2 of those youngsters were soon in the points. Only 4 minutes of played when Regan Grace broke dangerously down the wing, passing inside to Lewis Dodd, who in turn fed Bennison, and he touched down under the posts. Martin, son of Saints great Tommy Martin, stepped up to kick the conversion, and they give the visitors a 6-0 lead. Salford responded in 11 minutes through Seo. The Australian winger was first to react to a kick to the corner by Tuilola here, though Morgan Escray was off target with his first conversion attempt. Saints extended their lead thanks to another flash of brilliance from Grace. The Welsh winger cut in field dangerously and kicked ahead for Johnny Lomax to ground the ball. Martin added the conversion and followed it up with a penalty to goal 2 minutes before half time after Salford were penalised for obstruction. Seconds before half time, Salford cut the deficit to just 4 when former Saints centre Matt Costello slid over on the right edge after some slick approach play. Atkin, making his 200th career appearance, took over the kicking responsibilities and landed the conversion off the touchline to make it 14 points to 10. The side needed only 3 minutes of the second half to take the lead for the first time in the game. Andy Ackers broke dangerously and supporting Ellis Robson fed Atkin, who crashed over for a try he also converted. Robson, having set up a try moments earlier, scored himself soon after as he charged through from close range. Christian Inu's conversion attempt hit the post, and Salford's lead remains 6 points. Salford claimed their third try 12 minutes in after, when the break from Rhys Williams split the Saints' defence wide open, and Atkins could have easily scored but passed to Xio so he could register his second try of the night, and Inu converted to make it 26 points to 14. Saints barely troubled Salford in the final quarter, and indeed it was the home side that seemed more likely to add the points, but that was how the game ended. 26 points to 14. So we're going to this game, the final one on Friday, with these two teams locking horns to see who plays Wigan to go into 5th place, and who plays Warrington, who will mean that the team that loses stays in 6th place. And it wasn't really a surprise of who actually came out with the winning, because veteran standoff Robert Lewis signed off from Headingley in style with a vintage performance to help Leeds to a 36 points to 12 win over Hull KR, as they earned a trip to Wigan in the Super League elimination playoffs. Louis brings his professional career to a close and is returning to Australia at the end of the season, scoring the opening try and tormenting the Robins all night with his creative skills as the Rhinos ended the regular season with 5 wins from their last 7 matches to clinch 5th place. Leeds have won a grand final twice from 5th, and they are expected to have a host of forwards back next week as they take the trip to the DW Stadium, where they triumphed 14-0 a month ago. Hull KR were beaten, but a 6th place finish is a tremendous achievement from last year's wooden spoonists, and they will not fear an away tie against Warrington next week. Castleford's defeat on Thursday took away the jeopardy from the Rhinos. Took away the jeopardy, but Rovers' former Leeds coach Tony Smith still named the strongest side available, with Jimmy Kindhorse and Will Tate filling the holes created by the loss of injured duo Ryan Hall and Greg Minikin to season-ending injuries. Hull KR enjoyed most of the early play, with halfback Jordan Abdul pulling the strings with great effect, but Rhinos' defence looked assured throughout. Leeds opened the scoring against the run of play when Louis bamboozled the visitors' defence with his remarkable footwork to jink his way to the line. Robins drew level 5 minutes later when centre Brad Takarangi swooped on a stray pass from Leeds winger Ash Handley on halfway and sent halfback Mikey Lewis racing over for a try, which Abdul goaled from wide out. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw in a few years the halfback pairing of Mikey Lewis and Will Price for England. 2 talented players. They just need to be playing in games, stay injury free, and to progress skill wise. That's my personal opinion. Rovers continue to chance their arm but they lacked penetration, and the Rhinos cut loose with 3 further tries in the last 12 minutes of the first half to take a stranglehold on the game. Prop Matt Pryor crossed over with a short pass from Cruz Lehman, who then broke through the line to create a position for substitute front rower Tom Holroyd to go in for his second try in the season. Hanley denied winger Ben Crooks a try with a timely ankle tap, and at the other end, a sublime pass from Louis released second rower Reece Martin, and halfback Richie Myler was in support to finish off his side's 4th try. Martin had kicked all 4 conversions as the home side led 24 points to 6 at the break, and they quickly added to the tally when Lehman got second rower James Donaldson burrowing his way over 6 minutes into the second half. Martin maintained his accuracy with the conversion, and he made it 6 out of 6 when Hanley gathered in Myler's long looping pass to produce an acrobatic finish for Leeds' final try. OKR still managed to subject their hosts to intense defensive pressure, and it paid off when fullback Will Dagger went over for a consolation try 6 minutes from the end. There was a bit of injury concern over Cruz Lehman because he went off with a shoulder injury, and at one point during the game it looked like Hull had only had 1 substitute for the rest of the game due to injuries caused during the game. It was a tough old game for both teams, to be fair, but the scores ended 36. So we're down to the final game of the Super League season in 2021 as Huddersfield play Leigh Centurions, and the last game was Sunday the 19th of September, and there was no other games on Saturday or Sunday. And Huddersfield ended their 2021 campaign on a winning note, as Lewis Senior scored 2 tries and Ollie Russell contributed 14 points in a 42 points to 24 victory over relegated Leeds. Halfback Russell was outstanding and assisted 3 of the Giants' 8 tries, in addition to his own touchdown and 5 goals. Leigh, under interim coach Kurt Haggerty, returned to the Championship after winning just 2 of their 22 league games. They led twice in the opening period and ran in 5 tries overall, but rarely threatened to end their 21-year wait for a victory on Huddersfield soil in what is scheduled to be their final top-flight game until at least 2023. In Ian Watson's Grand Giants team, they led 22-12 at half-time, crucially striking back with 2 converted tries just before the interval. Winger Senior acrobatically touched down after 4 minutes, with Russell missing this conversion. Undaunted, the Centurions took the attack to their hosts. Twice they went close before Australian prop Jay Whitbread thundered over from James Bell's pass. Standoff Ryan Briley, who spent 12 months with the Giants in 2016, is expected to leave Leigh for pastures new next season, converted the try, and it was just confirmed that Briley will be joining Salford for 2022. The lead lasted just 3 minutes until Russell angled a kick towards the post, and veteran centre Leroy Cudjoe jumped highest to ground for a try, which Russell converted. Leigh were looking to make it a 3rd time lucky against their hosts this season after a Challenge Cup exit, and defeating the reverse Super League fixture last time out at Leeds Sports Village. So there was visiting optimism when Ian Thornley crossed unopposed for Briley to again the extras. Instead, the Giants sharpened their attack, and Lee Loney Nathan Peets assisted for Owen Trout's 37th minute try. And it became a double score lead for the first time when Ricky Latelli played in Russell for the halfback's touchdown. Russell converted both and then directed a kick-off towards Senior for Winger to grab his second try after the 8th minute. If Huddersfield were not already home and dry, there were they were after 56 minutes. Substitute Jack Ashworth played against his parents' club as well, was sin-binned for a shoulder charge. Almost immediately, Joe Greenwood rumbled over for the Giants' sixth try, and even through Russell missing a kick, a 32 points to 12 lead was never likely to be clawed back by Leigh. The Centurions, however, outscored the home side in the final quarter, with winger Brendan Elliott's double and another from fellow Australian Sam Stone. Vitelli and Will Price added further tries for Huddersfield, who finished with 12 men after their other Leiloni, Nathaniel Petteru, was yellow carded for his part in a late brawl. And that's how the scores ended, 42. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, another video in the can, and thank you very much for watching. Just to summarise, we're down to these four in the first week to go on to play Saints after. So it's Wigan versus Leeds on Thursday the 23rd of September as 7:45 kickoff. And then Warrington versus Hull KR on the Friday the 24th of September at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. All times are local and all the fixtures will be live on Sky Sports in the UK. Now, who's going to win out of those two games? For some reason, I think Wigan will get through against Leeds. That might be personal bias, and I apologise if that comes across. But Leeds have got some forwards going forward, so you can't discount them. But some forwards coming back into the fold, so you can't discount them whatsoever. Warrington versus Hull KR. If Warrington play that the way that they should do and don't have an off day, they should win. Not a problem. But if Hull KR turn up and play off the rugby, it will be a closer game than what many would think that it would be. That's the exciting game for next week. It really is. I'll be watching that. No problem at all. I'll be watching them both. Anyway, that's for next week. In the meantime, please remember to like, subscribe, share this video worldwide, tag your mates in your posts, whatever you can do. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best. I'll see you in the next video.